welcome to another just random video I wanted to do. And so as you can see from the title of it, I'm basically just going to go through all my wrestling belts that I've bought and kind of show them off, review them, things that I like and dislike about them. And I figured I'd do this not just to do a video that's not just random stuff, but I'm planning to buy a new belt in the future, and I figured I might as well just show up to date what I've got. So they're all displayed on the wall here, so I'm going to go on and off to pick them all up. This will probably be a pretty long video, but I figured I'd do it anyway. But yeah, I just figured I'd do it. So first off the bat, I'm just going to get it started. I have here the custom-made Internet Championship that I made from, just making sure I've got the name right, Undisputed Belts. So this is one of those websites where they sell custom wrestling belts. They do have other belts that are pre-done, but it's like one of the many places you can customize belts for. As you can see, it's pretty much based almost off the big gold design, at least from the plate-wise. Side plate-wise, not so much, and strap-wise, it's a lot thicker. So as an example, again, I made this the Internet Championship. I told them what I wanted the top name and the bottom name to say. I told them what picture I wanted on the front, what pictures I wanted on the side plates, and the strap, obviously. So the strap is supposed to be a gold camo, but it's not gold per se, it's just yellow, but it's still, you know, one I wanted. You got the golden snap box. I got the Xbox logo and the Steam logo on here to represent the fact that it's a championship for like internet usage for video games. That's why it's got the PlayStation logo and the YouTube logo. They asked me when I sent the design in if I had any design things, and I just said to them, can I get like a globe in the background? And that's what they sent me. So you send them an idea of what you want, you put down in the options, and then when you send it to them, they will send you a mock-up image of what it looks like, and they'll ask you as well if there's anything you want added to it. And it'll be like a computer-generated image, and then they'll kind of just show you it, and then you can approve or change it and whatever. But when you do change it, they send it to you. So plate-wise, it's a very small... Okay, so first of all, it's a very small belt. It doesn't look as big, but like that's my hand right there. So compared to the big gold, it's smaller. Another thing too, obviously, is the plate thickness there. I think they're 2mm. They might be a little less. I can't tell for sure. I don't have a thing to measure it, but I'm fairly certain they should be 2mm if I remember correctly. But yeah, either, it's still a pretty good belt. On the back, you can just barely see it, but it's got the stamp. And yeah, it's a custom belt. I've wanted to go through different custom belts, and that was a website I used. They're pretty good if you just want a nice looking belt, in my opinion. So I definitely feel like, you know, because I paid, you know, because it's an American thing, so I paid extra for shipping in that. And it would be a little nicer if they were a little bit thicker with the plating, but otherwise it's still pretty good. Like, it's just a flat image too. It's not like a 3D. But yeah, so that's just the first belt off the list. I just realized too, I might edit this on my computer to be shorter, do a cut bits out where I'm grabbing the belt, so you know. Next off the bat is another custom belt I got. So there's a Facebook group called, they used to be called, I think it was United Belts Brothers or something like that. I think they've changed their name, I'm not too sure. I'll probably put in the description what the new name is or whatever. But I messaged them up, told them I was interested, told them the design I want. They of course feedback every so often to tell me what I want changed, what difference I want. They would give me options. Eventually it came down to a design. I told them what I want. They made me pay an initial payment just to show it, and again they also showed an image of what it will look like. I confirmed it. And then when they started making the belt, I would send them the extra money, including shipping. There was a bit weirdness because I remember I sent them the rest of it, and I remember I was waiting like a week almost, and I got a message from him asking to send the money. I reminded them that I did send it, and they realized, oh, okay, we'll send it now. Took a while to get here, but it is one that I'm proud of. And it's my custom Australian Championship. Now, initially, all I told them was I wanted Australian Championship, and it was a white strap. They did tell me I could have colour, so I chose blue to kind of obviously for the Australian look. They added a custom little kangaroo there for Australia. And another thing too as well is they let me choose a nameplate, which is removable, and I'm glad that it's removable. So it's got a custom nameplate on it as well. These are 4mm plates too. I paid, I think, around 600 something, which is fairly a lot for, at least this is Australian dollars by the way too, so it's a lot, but that's what happens with us in Australia. We don't have companies in Australia that make belts, we've got to get them. But either way, I'm happy with the design. I quite like it. It's very nice leather too, which is one thing I was happy about, like floppy. And it's heavy, like it's a hefty belt. And it does have noticeable paint jobs and stuff like that. But it's still pretty good. And again, this was like the first official, not official replica in the way that it's from a shop. It's official in the way that this is my first replica where it's exact platings, exact design, you know. I consider this one of the first replicas I got, despite the fact most might not consider them. Some people consider eBay ones replicas, and even I feel like they technically count, but of course they're not official replicas, they're bootlegs. So this is one that I count as a replica because of the fact that it basically is a replica of the championship, except custom made for me. So again, that's again, there are a few obvious instances like paint jobs and stuff and a bit of miscommunication for payment, but this is still one of my favorites, and it'll be a belt that I'll never get rid of no matter what, because I feel like it's just custom to me. It's one of the reasons for my wrestling series why I have an Australian Championship in there, and it's because of this. So but yeah, it's still a good company. Like, they do many different designs and stuff, so it's not something that you're stuck just with one. I'm gonna have to put them down one by one because some of them are held up in a way that I can't reach to get it. But anyway, moving on. This is another custom one from a shop called Trophy Smack, and I remember seeing videos they had where they were on Shark Tank and just seeing how they make wrestling belts, and it was one that, again, they're expensive because they weren't in Australia, but they're still worth it. And that is my custom YouTube Championship. Now, as you can see right off the bat, it is a very, very big belt. Like, for the money it costs, it is definitely worth it in quality. Leather strap feels great. It's got the stamp on the back as well, like the other ones. So, this is what their normal belt design looks like. You can get like youth ones, which are smaller. You can get other versions which don't have this design plating, but regardless. And again, when I went on there, they didn't have too many options when it came to the strap. It was like black, white, blue and red, but they do have newer ones now, I noticed, which is interesting. So again, they basically show you an example of it, and when you change the stuff, it'll show it on the belt that they've got. So the way I did it was I wanted the top part to say Archangelic, my YouTube name, YouTube Universal, because I like just adding Universal to it. Championship, I got my YouTube logo on there. I asked for gold for the plating, as well as the side plates and that. So you can get gold and silver when it comes to like the plate colors. On here, I've got just a generic star with McGamers all around it, because it's the channel that I collab in with my two friends, and well, my friend and my brother. And then on here, I have just a generic image of Earth with Second Flight, which is a clan that I've been basically using since Black Ops 2. And it's just every time there's an option where I can make a clan in something, you usually see me gaming with the initials SDFT, which is what Second Flight stands for. But yeah, again, huge belt. Plate thickness is great. I can't remember. I think it was like 6mm, but it is stacked to an extent where you can kind of see the initial one there, and then there's kind of layers going up. So I don't know how much from the top plate to the bottom. I believe it's like 8mm or 6mm. It's pretty thick. Same with the side plates here and these little parts here. So again, expensive, but a very good custom championship that I definitely feel like you know would be good for people who want custom belts. They do have other designs there, but there's one I kept seeing that was always out of stock. So once again, I don't know, I can't really tell, but yeah. So again, one of my Again, another belt that I don't think I'll ever get rid of because it's just such a good one and it's tailored to my channel. But yeah, so I definitely would give custom belts, you know, these ones a go because they are very good when it comes to it. Like, look at that. That is a huge play and it's one of my favorites too. Next up is technically my first ever wrestling belt, official belt. Now, back in the day, I obviously could never afford or buy them. The first time I could was this. It technically came with a toy championship, but I'm not going to count that because that's a toy. This I will because technically it counts. And it is a commemorative, but still, it is a commemorative championship off the WWE shop. The NXT championship, which I got because at the time, Tommaso Ciampa was the champion, and he's one of my favorite NXT champions. So just to show it off, the back there has the little authentication sticker. I believe it's 2019, is it? Yeah, 2019. Yeah, authentic thing back there. You can tell too because it's back when they used like the screws you could see on the back. Now, it is a commemorative, which means it's not metal, it's plastic. Plastic, you can't take these off. The only thing that's metal is the snap boxes and the belt tip, which is surprisingly metal. But commemoratives are obviously just, you know, plastic, it's a little cheaper, but they are the same size as replicas, and detail-wise, like the plate thickness and detailing is the same. So if I got a replica, it would just be a metal version of this. One of my favorites, and again, one of the earliest memories of me getting a championship, and it's one that, again, I looked at and I was like, NXT was my favorite thing, and it kind of still is, technically. Like, I think I watch NXT and enjoy it a little more. One of my favorite championships, and especially with the fact that it's a mixture of gold and silver in it. And again, Tommaso Ciampa at the time was is technically one of my favorites, but at the time he was the NXT champion, so I got it because of that. So this is exactly, again, if you want cheaper and you want official off the WWE shop, there's no harm in buying a commemorative. You're essentially just paying for a cheaper version of a replica that's not metal, but it's plastic, you know, it still looks the same. So yeah, this will always be one of my favorites regardless. Next up is an official replica, literally an official replica from the WWE shop, and that is the 24/7 Championship. Now keep in mind, I probably would have got a commemorative if they sold them. They do not. I got this anyway because I wanted a replica. There wasn't too many good ones at the time. Ones I wanted, like the Universal and stuff like that, they were out of stock. So I was like, do I want to get a belt that's a replica of a belt I'm not a huge fan of, or one that I can kind of give or take? Or do I want one that I wanted? And the 24/7 title, contrary to what its popular opinion is, it's one of my favorite belts. I don't care what anyone says, it's just one of my favorites. So, a replica, it is metal. Very nice in my opinion. It is 4mm, I think, or 6mm thick. It's very thick. There's the side plate parts, which are a little bit bent, but not completely. You've got the leather here with the WWE logo, snap box. Same as the other side, snap box, belt tip. And then obviously if I check the back, this is also a 2019 version, so it's the authentication sticker there. Again, the 24/7 Championship has always been one of my favorites. So I'm glad that I got a replica of it. It's very heavy. The leather is very thick, which is an issue because it's not floppy, but it's still one of my favorite belts. I do plan to get another replica hopefully in the future. So hopefully by then there'll be more options that are available. It's not the most expensive I've paid for a belt. This one cost like $580 or something like that. Something like almost or just under 600. Compared to, I think the most I've paid for one was my custom YouTube one, which I think was like over 600 something. I can't remember. But regardless, they're still expensive because not only does this belt cost what it does, but it's like plus 100 something shipping for Australia. So that's why I generally don't get to buy as many good ones. But again, what I showed you were technically official / replicas because even if they're custom or commemorative, they are from official sites. So this is an example of one. What I'm going to show you next are unofficial and bootleg ones, which you can very much tell, but I'll get to them now anyway. But yeah, this will always be one of my favorites. Again, I don't think I'll ever give this one up just because it is an official one. There are certain belts on here, like the bootlegs, I'll gladly get rid of or replace, but ones like this, no, this is too good. One of my favorites. Alright, getting into unofficial, I have a white strapped classic Intercontinental Championship. However, it is off eBay, so one thing you can tell with eBay belts is the straps always look the same, just with how it looks. But I did get this because the white strapped Intercontinental was my favorite. At the time, I can't remember who was Intercontinental Champion at the time, but I got this during the time where it still had the classic design, I believe. Could be wrong, I can't remember. But actually no, I'm starting to think maybe they did change it, but I just preferred this. Now again, obviously I prefer this in the way that it's one of my favorites because it's very colourful. It's a white strap, blue on the globe, it's got red, and red for the WWE logo. It's just a colourful strap in my opinion, or belt. But yeah, it is a bootleg, it is not official. You can see right here it's not. It's got a nice curve to it, which is what I like. But yeah, it's very much not official. It's 2mm. You can kind of tell the plates are very flat. The paint job on it is not the best, especially up here on the WWE logo. Like, it pretty much just looks like arse. You can see little bits of black markings and stuff that are on the on there, and of course there's like the lining for here is very faded and off. But I keep this because it's one of my favorite belt designs. If, in my opinion, if the current Intercontinental Championship had a white strap and colored globe, I would much prefer that design. But unfortunately they're going to keep it black and gold, so this will always be one of my favorite for the Intercontinental Championship. But this is just one of the first of 4 bootlegs I've got right now, so get ready for the next one. Alright, next up, another bootleg. This one I got as a pair, and it is the WWF World Tag Team Wrestling Championship. Now, when I got this, I got 2 of them, because I wanted to get one for me and my brother. I was looking for tag titles for us, but there weren't that many. This is the only one I could find that I could afford, so that's why I got it. So, as you can see again, it's off eBay, so it's not very great, and of course, that's why they use the WWF logo. It is two-toned, as in like it's got gold and silver, which is one thing I like. Again, it's a colourful belt with the addition of those colours there and the mixtures of black and silver. Doesn't look great, obviously, but it is, again, a bootleg. Something I should have pointed out too with the belt tips on bootlegs, they're only one-sided. That's one of the reasons they're bootlegs. Again, not very, like, bent plating and stuff, they're kind of bad, and of course the back is the same. But again, I got this because it was cheaper, I could afford it, and I wanted to get a tag belt of some sort for me and my brother. I am planning to upgrade in the future, so we can probably get better ones, but even if I did, I would still have to get unofficial ones, because if I were to buy 2 even commemorative title belts, say off the WWE shop, it would be like under $1,000, and I don't want to pay that much right now. Unless I'm able to find a sale that's on and they're both in stock and I have the amount, then sure. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon or in the future on time, so this is all I got. But again, I got this for a reason. It wasn't just because I wanted a cheap belt. I wanted to get a tag belt for me and my brother, so not the best design. None of these bootlegs are, obviously, but there's a reason I kept certain ones, like you'll find out with the next 2. Some I've bought, and you've seen me unbox many different bootlegs, but I've gotten rid of them all for reasons. These ones I keep for reasons too. So, just wanted to get that out there. Next up, and this one's different because it wasn't off eBay. It is a bootleg, but it's not off eBay. And it is the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Now, this was off Amazon, and Amazon's very much like eBay when it comes to wrestling belts and stuff. Unless you see ones that probably cost a lot, cheap ones are going to be bootlegs. So the thing that, again, I kept this one because I like the design, and also it's 4mm, unlike the rest which are 2. But again, it's not the great quality. You can see here the gluing for these plates are bad. You can see it's not purple, it's blue, which is supposed to be purple. The strap is just straight up black, not the dark purple. No belt tip. Obviously here it's not official, but I still kept it because it's one of the better bootlegs I've gotten, considering the design and all stuff like that, and it is like a nice thick belt. So again, I would gladly get rid of this to replace it or get a different one, but for now I did keep it for this. So, you know, again, it's not my favorite, but it is one of the better bootlegs in my opinion. So we got one more belt to go now, and this one's going to be probably the worst one. But again, there's a reason I got it, and I will tell you when I do bring it out. Alright, last and kind of least, but not really. This is off eBay, and it is the Universal Championship, which was, you know, the theme designed one. Now, obviously, right off the bat, it's flat, not very great designs. Obviously, the face is just painted on. It is very bad. And although it has kind of accurate things here, they don't fit. If you put it on as tight as you can, the belt is still very much huge. So what I did was I upgraded it and I put Velcro, not very good, but just Velcro on, which is not sticking on, but I just keep it on regardless because I don't keep putting it on and off. But I put Velcro on it because when I do, I can actually have it tighter and more fitting around my waist. But as you can see, design-wise, it's not too bad. It does mimic and imitate the real one very well. But I bought this not long after I heard about the death of Bray Wyatt, Wyndham, which he was such a big influence for me, especially with my wrestling and that. And I knew, because I noticed they were selling his stuff again on the WWE shop and that, but it was either sold out, expensive, or people were selling them way overpriced, and I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with it. So I chose cheap. I know it's probably not the best way to represent him or honor him, but it's all I could afford, and it's just, in my opinion, something I like to decorate anyway. I've got official stuff in here from him, like the official Fiend gloves. I've got a hoodie in there with the logo. I've got the Uncle Howdy mask, which is a replica. This is just something I did before I thought about, you know, I wanted to get something new for him. So that's exactly why I got this, which again, it looks bad and it's very much crap. But I got it for a reason, and that's the reason why I keep it. Again, if I could replace this, I would, but it's probably, compared to everything else I could replace, I'm never going to get an official Fiend title without basically selling organs at this point. So regardless of its look and how cheap it was, it has value in the way that it's just something I bought after his death, and it's something that I just like to keep and show in the room. So again, it's not something anyone would do, but it's something what I did, so that's just what I did. But that's it. That's all the wrestling belts I have. Again, I do plan to get a new one next week, which will probably, if I do buy one next week, it'll take at least 2 weeks, depending, 2 to 3 weeks to come in. So even if I do buy one next week, you're not going to expect an unboxing of me for a while. But I do plan to, and I will definitely show it in a thing if I can. Not only if I do, but obviously tease and show off what I bought, and just let it happen. But either way, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your stances are if you want. I know there might be some people in there who are very against bootlegs, understandably so. But there are also people in there who probably, like me, can't afford them, or can't buy official ones all the time, and might have their own experience or their own reasonings and stuff. Again, my reasoning is I can't afford official all the time. If I could, I would. And I've done so with the custom belts I got, which aren't official wrestling belts, but they're ones that obviously weren't just bought off eBay and stuff. They were like ones from official custom sites. But again, let me know what you think. If you have experiences, let me know your experience. What do you prefer? Which sites do you use? regardless, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Technically, I didn't rate any of these belts, so I'm not going to title it something like rating my belts, despite the fact that I did say at the start I think I was going to, you know, give a thing. But again, as far as I'm concerned, the replicas are obviously 10 out of 10, custom belts 10 out of 10, and the bootleg ones to me are a mixture in between 5 and 7 out of 10, because again, they're not great, but for cheap and alternatives that I'm just keeping in my room to hang up, I don't mind them, you know. So that's just my opinion. Your opinion may be different. That's okay, do what you want. But thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, like I mentioned before, and I will see you whenever the next one comes out.